Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry P. Cook. So I just want to do a quick update on some stuff related to Star Trek. First of all, I want to talk about the skulls in Picard's villa in the second episode of season 2 of Picard. So there were two of them that I couldn't readily identify in terms of what species they belong to, and a lot of Star Trek fans couldn't either. And it turns out that one of them was a saurian skull, so the species that Linus from Discovery belongs to. Now, this is a species that had previously been seen in Star Trek the Motion Picture, and I guess in some of the games or comics as well, before Linus. But yeah, so that skull belongs to a saurian. And the other skull was really the bigger mystery. It's a gigantic skull, and I could not for the life of me place what species it was. And there were some species that I thought maybe it could be, but it turns out to be none of those because they made up a completely new race for this skull, apparently. And the race is called the Lindsay, and that's what they look like. At least that's what their heads look like. And I think it was Neville Page that first came out with it. He is a legendary special effects makeup guy. So we now know what those two skulls are, and I think that's pretty cool. Of course, the rest of them were Sarek, Garrick, the Grand Nagus, Martok. I can't remember if there were any other ones, but anyway, now we know what the other two are. The other thing I wanted to talk about is it would seem that powers that be over at Paramount Plus have decided that they absolutely must introduce a young Kirk, Lieutenant Kirk, to us in live action. And they're going to do it on Strange New Worlds in season 2, and he's going to be played by an actor named Paul Wesley, who has been on the Vampire Diaries, among other things. And, you know, this is how I feel about that.
No! No!
Just no. No. Why? Why? No. They shouldn't be doing this. Should not be doing this. They really shouldn't be doing Strange New Worlds either. I keep saying I'm looking forward to the show, and I am, because Anson Mount was so good as Captain Pike, and it's going to be more episodic, so they say. And I think Trek is at its best when it's episodic, and so I'm hoping it's going to be good. But and you know, there's so much we don't know about Captain Pike. I think telling his story or stories involving him could be really cool. It'd be nice to fill that in. Same for number one. Number one of the most enigmatic Star Trek characters that we know nothing about, you know, prior to her appearance on Discovery. And I said from the moment that they brought her in, you know, as played by Rebecca Romijn, that it was going to be really cool. And I thought they missed an opportunity when they jumped to the future to have her be the captain of Discovery. I think that would have been kick-ass, because there's nothing about her in Trek lore after, you know, the Cage. Nothing. And so they could have done whatever they wanted with the character, and it just would have been great. The character would have had, you know, a story, a life that it never had after the Cage. And it could have all been done without messing with anything. And Rebecca Romijn is great. And, you know, Michael didn't get the captaincy until the end of season 3. So, I don't know, even if they wanted to end up there, they could have had number one, as played by Rebecca Romijn, go with them to the future, which would explain why we never saw her after the Cage. And it just would have been so awesome, even if they ended up, you know, killing her or whatever. and giving the ship to Michael, but they didn't do it. So dumb. They missed such an opportunity. Now, of course, now we know we're going to see her story play out, and as she served on the Enterprise in Strange New Worlds, but they could have used her in a way that would not have messed with anything. Well, and they still can. There's no history about her. So, but it's only her, because Spock, they can mess up Spock. They can do things with Spock that don't fit with the established canon. They can still do some things with Pike that don't fit with the established canon, but not very much. Because we already know that they're committed to having him have his accident. So there's really not much they could do except undo that decision, which I don't see them doing. And they could mess up a lot of stuff, but I'm still looking forward to seeing it because of number one, because of Captain Pike. But now they're gonna bring Kirk into it. Why? I don't know why. What's the story of the Farragut? I don't know if there's too much about the Farragut in the post TOS Star Trek. I know that they did that one episode where he talks about his time on the Farragut, but I don't think they did much with the Farragut after that, if anything. So now they're going to bring that in, and I'm hoping he's going to be in one or two episodes and be very background and just kind of there and not do much, because there's so much potential to mess with the single most iconic character in Star Trek. I don't see why they would do that. I don't. And I'm scared. Oh. But that's really it. This is a short video. I just wanted to tell you about the skulls because I think it's cool. And we finally have clear pictures of the two, at least, that were sort of mysterious. And we now know what they're going to do on Strange New Worlds with Kirk. And I wanted to tell you that and tell you that I hate it. But that's it. So I'll be back with another video when, something happens. Until then, peace and long life.